Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Priah Ferguson about The Curse of Bridge Hollow, streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's spooky season. It's the greatest time. I'm just curious in terms, there's so much kind of amazing Halloween themed content and so many amazing things to watch around spooky season. While you were filming this movie, or maybe a couple of months before going to film it, were you kind of watching a lot of stuff in like Halloween themed stuff or spooky season to get kind of into the mood a little bit?
I was actually, and what even got me more in the mood, it was that we filmed around Halloween. So I was watching a lot of Halloween stuff around that time. And a funny story, I went to a haunted house with my friend the day before filming. Not the day before like our first day, but a random day before filming. And I went to a haunted house and I ended up scraping up my knee. So that was kind of scary at the time, but I could laugh about it now.
I'm always, the people that work at the haunted houses, they love when guys like me come in the haunted house because I'll be like, what was that? And they're like, that's my guy. That's the guy. They target me and scare me the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. There is so much kind of happening now in the horror genre, the thriller genre, the spooky, creepy genre with like films like this and Stranger Things. What is it like working in the genre, knowing that it's the biggest it's ever been, arguably, this genre of like horror, thriller, spooky a little bit?
It's cool, but when you're actually doing it, you don't really get to experience that supernatural stuff. Of course, that's like editing and special effects and all that stuff. So you're literally just screaming at a tennis ball that's on the stand. So you kind of have to use your imagination a little bit and imagine what it might look like, what the end concept might look like, what the movie or the show is going to look like at the end. So it's really cool just seeing how it all comes together once the show or the movie is finally out.
100%. And I find it because I watched this film and first thing that kind of comes to mind is, this is going to be one that families are going to watch every year around Halloween. And I feel like you're making the film, maybe you're not thinking about stuff like that, but it's pretty cool to know that there's not really going to be potentially a shelf life with this movie because it could be watched every Halloween. Are you starting to think about that a little bit now that it's out a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, because actually, I even started watching it around Halloween. It's a good movie to get you in the mood for Halloween, to get Halloween going, to get the holidays started, because the first holiday, that kind of starts off or kicks off the year is kind of Halloween. So it's a good movie to kind of get you ready for Halloween and the holidays in general.
I think you could also watch it on Halloween. I think you go trick-or-treating, you check out all the candy you got, and you put on the Curse of Bridge Hollow. Are you with me on that?
Yeah. Especially after watching something super scary.
Absolutely.
You can put that on.
You need a little break and then you put that I can't even imagine working with Marlon. He's so funny in this film. He has so many amazing lines, and both of you have such amazing chemistry. Were there a lot of times where like he would just say one-liners and it was kind of hard not to laugh during takes? Like, how many times did that happen?
It happened a lot, actually. But the funny thing about it was that I kind of had to jump right back into character, and I kind of know how to do that. So Marlon kind of he'll make jokes, especially if I'm not on camera. I'll still be laughing at his jokes that he made before he taped behind the camera. Or if I'm on camera, he'll be making jokes behind the camera to try to get me to laugh.
I could totally see that. Yeah. It's funny. It's interesting too because with The Curse of Bridge Hollow, you're part of the Netflix family. With Stranger Things, you're part of the Netflix family. What is it like being consistently year after year part of the Netflix family for you, Priah?
I love Netflix. I think it's cool. I think it's a blessing, especially when you kind of know what you're kind of gonna get. Yeah, that's always fun and cool. And Netflix takes good care of me. So
absolutely. Do you look when you work on a project like Curse of Bridge Hollow, where it's funny, it's got the effects? I mean, spoiler alert. I mean, Halloween decorations might or might not be coming alive. But then you look at Stranger Things. There's a lot of elements in these projects. When you're reading the scripts for these projects, do you notice how packed they are with a lot of these elements, or is it after you film you're like, wow, there's a lot happening in these?
I think when I'm reading the script, that's when I'm like, dang, this is going to be a lot of work. This is going to be a lot to film. I don't know how they're going to do this. I wonder how the set is going to look. But then after I'm filming and the day is over with, I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. So I wonder what the end concept is going to look like.
Absolutely. Is it cool to think that every year there's going to be so many like Stranger Things themed Halloween costumes and parties? Like, that's never gonna go away.
Yeah, that's never gonna go away.
When they get a chance to watch The Curse of Bridge Hollow, what are you hoping they'll get out of it, takeaway wise? Besides, hoping to be entertained, a good movie around Halloween. Anything else specifically?
Bridge Hollow is a family movie, and it's kind of hard to say that about like a lot of Halloween movies because it's scary. So like little kids can watch it and enjoy the whole trick-or-treating and Halloween decorations part of it all. But then you also have the teenagers concept, where teenagers could watch it and relate and kind of learn something from Sydney and the parent bonding. Parents could learn something about their teenagers. So I think parents and teenagers could walk away learning something as well, and it might bring families together.
I think there's moments, depending if you're like me, if you don't like spiders, I think there's moments where you might think it's very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but absolutely. What in your Priah Ferguson is a storyteller. That's what you do basically. Yeah. What is the best thing about being a storyteller in your opinion?
You get to tell other people's stories, and you get to step into other people's shoes and know what it's kind of like to see what other people are kind of going through, and it kind of helps you, I guess, become a better person in a way and be more sensitive about certain situations, because you're stepping in many different people's shoes and you're telling so many different people's stories. And that's what I like about being a storyteller, because you get to tell stories of people who probably want their story heard, and then they probably don't have it heard enough. So that's what I think is cool about being a storyteller. That's
very, very well said. The Curse of Bridge Hollow is streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Priah, it was so great chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me on Popternative.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Priah Ferguson and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.